Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh and a very good day. We are from Group Tech Shack and our project is called Mall Autonomous Tracking Agent MATA. So this is our team members, which consists of Zubli, Fakira, Wan Hadi and me myself, Al-Amin. So our mentor is Encik Muhammad Razif Shamsuddin and we are a combination of UiTM Shah Alam and UiTM Jasin student. So we will start our presentation with the part 1 section, which is elevator pitch.
The system is targeted towards customers who are visiting a shopping complex. It is to minimize congestion in the establishment based on standard operating procedure. Since COVID-19 outbreak, it is very critical to know and restrict the numbers of customers that enter the premise. Current solution and its limitation. The techniques that they're using in monitoring the numbers of customers in a premise at one time is implemented by giving cards to the customer. Though this is a good way in avoiding congestion in store as a prevention measure of COVID-19 transmission, but it is not that effective nor efficient where the cards are being passed around, which leads to transmissions of the virus via physical touch. Even though the cards claim to be sanitized at the end of each day, it is not convincing to be safe enough, as those cards probably will be rapidly passed around during operation hour without having sanitized. Our solution and why it's better. Mall Autonomous Tracking Agent, or MATA for short, provides a solution to remove the necessity of having to distribute a physical card to the customer to keep track the number of customers inside the premise at the moment. This system makes use of the already present CCTV and object recognition detection to monitor the customer's movement of entering and exiting the premise entrance. This will significantly improve the standard operating procedure since it will reduce congestion upon entering the premise, which will reduce the spread of COVID-19.
Target segment and impact. So there are two users who can benefit from our system. So the first one is mall management. The mall management can use our system to see the live updates on how many customers in the mall at real time and to access the analytical data that can help the management in making decision. So the second one is customers. So our solution will help the customer in managing and deciding what is the best time for them to bring their family members, to bring their kids in order to shop. So it helps the customer in avoiding congestion in order to stay safe, especially in this COVID-19 pandemic situation, and it plays a good role in protecting family who bring children and elderly to be safer and to have the best shopping experience. Next, we will continue to the part 2, which is technical presentation.
This is Zaini, and now I will present the high-level diagram of MATA system architecture. So the architecture is divided into three main parts, which is the client side, mall, and then we have server side, Oracle VM instance, and the user side for dashboard and reporting. So at the server side, the camera or CCTV at the mall will capture a live stream video. As we all know, CCTV nowadays are equipped with Wi-Fi capabilities, allowing users to view remotely via the internet. The video captured from the CCTV will be streamed to the Oracle VM instance. At the server side, we are implementing a microservice architecture to allow autonomous and real-time detection to count people entering and exiting the mall. The process are containerized using Docker, so the video we see from the CCTV will be transported to the MATA people counting model, which is powered by Python and OpenCV. Each MATA people counting model is responsible to handle one live stream video captured by the CCTV or camera at the mall. The MATA counting model will generate total count, number of people at the mall, number of people entering the mall and exiting the mall. The data generated by the model is stored in the CSV file. This file will be sent to the Oracle database via the Oracle client. And the live stream analysis is done in real time and low latency due to the effectiveness of the microservice architecture and Oracle capability in handling multiple loads at the same time. The data are stored in the Oracle database and then it will be presented in MATA dashboard for analytical purposes.
Next is the design and research methodology. So there are few of hardware and software technology that we use in developing our program. So the first one is Docker. Docker is mainly used in allowing us to create container, which allows us to run um, many IP cameras and programs simultaneously. So the next one is Anaconda, followed by VS Code, Jupyter Notebook, Flask, and Ngrok. So next, the programming library of our human detection program. So it requires OpenCV, NumPy, dlib, Immutils, ArcParse, and SkyP. Alright. Next, we continue. So this is the project methodology that we use. So at the beginning of our development phase, the first step we try to understand what is the current problem and the customer requirements. So the current problems identified is that in this COVID-19 pandemic situation, we need a better program or method in monitoring the number of customer in a place, for example a mall. So the step 2, we decided to make analysis and we made some research on the feasibility of project. The step 3, where we started to create the design and the structure of our system. Then followed by the step 4, where we code, we program, and we test our program, and followed by the installation of the program in the virtual machine and others. So the step 5 is maintenance.
I will present the flow of our model. The model is divided into two parts, the startup and the object detection model. The startup process is responsible during initialization of the model. The process begins by initializing MobileNet SSD. MobileNet is a direct neural network designed to run on resources-constrained devices, where single-shot detector (SSD) complements the MobileNet architecture. The architecture takes a single shot to detect people in the image by generating a region proposal. After the initialization process completed, the model is ready to receive input videos from the camera. Once the live stream video input into the model, OpenCV will continue to initialize frame dimension and send-frame tracker. The video will be resized to fit the initialized frame dimension before beginning the object detection process. The object detection process begins by initializing the horizontal line that acts as a region proposal and a separation to detect movement of people either entering or exiting the mall. Next, the counter will be initialized, which includes total count, total entrance, and total exit. The object detection will detect the movement of people. If people are coming from the bottom, it indicates people are entering the mall. Then, total count and total entrance will be updated respectively. However, the movement from bottom indicates people exiting the mall. Thus, total count and total exit will be updated according to number of people. The record will be stored in the CSV file and will be transported to the desktop page.
Assalamualaikum, my name is Wan Muhammad Akmal Hadi and I will be presenting our Mall Autonomous Tracking Agent project timeline based on the Gantt chart. The team started planning on the 2nd of September, where we list down a few systems that meets the requirement for the Hackathon Smart City Challenge. After getting feedback from our mentor, the team proceeds with the Mall Autonomous Tracking Agent as our system for this challenge and thus finishing the planning phase on the 4th of September. The team then moves on to the next phase, which is analysis phase, where we analyze the necessary tools and software to make the project possible. The analysis phase went on from the 5th until the 7th of September. The team then proceeds to begin with the system design on our own virtual machine on the 8th of September, but due to the time restriction, we also started on implementing the system onto the Oracle Cloud infrastructure on the 11th of September. The team manages to finish the design phase on the 12th of September and fully committed on the implementation of the system. The implementation phase went on for a week, which ends on the 2nd of September. Finally, the team proceeds to the final phase, which is the maintenance phase, to fix any bugs and errors in the system. The maintenance ended on the 35th of September, which is the day of the submission. Now, let us look at the results and discussion for the system. With this project, the more autonomous tracking agent system was able to recognize multiple humans, keep track of their movement, count the number of in and out, and also compute the number of humans inside the premise. With the data previously mentioned, the user may view it through the web application. Here, the user can view the live number of people in My Din Selayang. The user can also view the statistics and graph of the number of people inside the premise, the total number of people that entered, and the total number of people that exited the premise at any given time. Now let's look into the advantages. So the advantages is the system abides the SOP. With Mata system installed, customer can just scan their message arterial and enter the premise without the need to queue. Next is reducing the number of workers. The worker who was assigned previously to distribute the card can now be assigned elsewhere. And lastly, less physical contact. The need of bringing the card inside of the premise is not necessary for the customer, thus creating a lower rate of COVID-19 transmission between customers. With every ups, there will be downs. Let's look into the disadvantages. So, the system is quite expensive since it requires a lot in order for the installation and maintenance to make sure the system is always running like intended. Next, it is limited in ways that the number of humans that can be detected, tracked, and compute will be heavily correspond to the system's processing capability.
Now we are going to demonstrate our project.
So this is a Mata control center. At the control center, we can see that it can have more than one camera. So for example, this is an entrance, north entrance, south entrance, west entrance, and east entrance. So for each camera, it can run analysis in real time to detect people entering and exiting the mall. So we are using a sample video for this example, as you can see here. So based on each camera, we can count the total people entering and exiting the mall, and all the data will be stored in the CSV file and be transferred to the Oracle database.
Now, we will look into the Mall Autonomous Tracking Agent web application made possible by using Apex Oracle. So, from the data generated by the system, it will then be transferred into the Oracle database in the form of .csv. So, with that data, we can view two things in this web application. First one is the live count, which shows the number of people inside of the premise, in this case, My Din Selayang. Next is the analytics. Since all of the raw data is quite tedious to be viewed by the user, it is presented here in the form of graph, which is the total number of people inside of the premise, the total number of people that entered the premise, and the total number of people that exited the premise at any given time. Finally, the conclusion. Let us look back at the problem statement for this system. It is to minimize the congestion in the establishment or the premises that abides the standard operating procedure. With this system, it has already managed to minimize the congestion since it demolished the needs of queuing for entering the premises and also the need to hold a physical card for the customer to enter the premise. And the next one is to know and restrict the number of customers that enter the premises. So with this system, the object recognition is able to calculate the number of people who entered, exited, and is inside the establishment at any given time. Overall, it is a significant upgrade compared to the traditional way of handing out cards at the main entrance. That is all from us. Thank you very much to UiTM and Oracle for giving us this opportunity to participate in this Smart City Challenge. Thank you very much. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi taala wabarakatuh.